Assalamu alaikum, everybody. My name is Ahmed Sahwel. Welcome to our adults camp orientation. This is our first ever adults camp. So there's going to be a lot in this that we're still working on, that we're still progressing through. But overall, it's a very simple, straightforward idea. This is I guess you can consider the orientation of, what will happen in the camp, and we'll pretty much run through all the things about camp. So there's going to be five things we're going to discuss in this one: pre-camp preparations, what the adult camp will look like and how things will function, the rules of camp, advice on how to make the most of camp, and at the end, questions and the conclusion. So while we're at the camp, I will be the Amir running things. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I'll leave my email at the end of the slideshow, or you can reach out to me now, whatever the cases may be. Obviously, the first thing we want to get to is the supplies that you need to bring. Overall basic stuff, right? You definitely need some sort of bedding, right? I usually just bring a sleeping bag, a pillow, and call it a day. If you want to bring a blanket, if you want to bring a bed cover, whatever the case may be, the camp does not provide anything. All you get is a mattress. So if you don't bring anything, you're just gonna end up sleeping on, a very uncomfortable mattress, for lack of better words. Definitely bring a poncho, raincoat. You don't really need that. It doesn't really. Sometimes it rains, but we end up staying in the cabins anyway. But if you want something like that, so that way, if you want to continue fishing or continue throughout your day, by all means, you can do that as well. Definitely recommend bringing a sweater or a light jacket. It does get cold at night, despite it being the summer. When you're attending the campfire talks, when you're going to Salted Fajr, it does get chilly. So highly recommend bringing a sweater. Pair of sneakers, obviously, it's a camp. Don't bring anything nice that you're afraid that's gonna get messed up, because you're gonna be at a camp. Things are gonna get dirty, things are gonna get messed up. Don't bring anything that you're afraid that will get damaged or afraid to get dirty, because obviously that's gonna happen. It's inevitable. Pair of swimming trunks, right? There's a lake, there's a pool that you can swim in, so definitely bring your swimming gear. I don't have to talk about the rest. Your clothes, blah blah. I would bring two towels, one for the swimming and one for showering. When you get out of the lake and the pool, obviously there's a certain smell that sticks onto the towel. If you use that same towel when you shower, you'll find yourself always smelling like the lake. So I highly recommend bringing two towels, so that way you can save one for each. There's no shampoo, there's no toothpaste, none of that. You have to bring all that yourself. There is soap for when you wash your hands, but that's about it. So definitely bring your own shampoo. Toiletries, you can bring extra if you like. They do provide toilet paper, of course. But if you probably want to bring your own water bottle, the KVCs maybe. Obviously, the camp does not provide that. Obviously something to sleep in. Bug spray. Obviously ticks are getting a lot more crazy than before. So you want to protect yourself. It's gonna be a lot of mosquitoes there. Definitely bring your bug repellent, flashlight for when it gets dark, and a water flask because it does get hot, and the camp doesn't have water funnels throughout the camp. So definitely bring something you can fill up water and carry it around. Now, this is the supply list for the youth camp. Obviously, a lot of this stuff, you can figure out what things you need on your own, what other things you need, like medicine. I don't have to tell you guys that, but this is just the basic outline of what's going on. Things not to bring. Don't bring a hairdryer, right? Electricity is gonna, cause fire if, you leave it plugged in, it's right next to the water. Try not to bring that stuff. I promise you don't have to look pretty 24/7. Just your hair will be fine. Just go with it. There's nobody to impress. Portable electronics, I would not recommend bringing anything that's too expensive that you don't need. Meaning, don't bring your iPads, don't bring your laptops, don't bring any of this stuff, right? Try to disconnect from all expensive electronics, because at the end of the day, ICPC is not responsible for anything that's lost or damaged. We're gonna get into the rules about theft and all that stuff later on, but you want to do your due diligence, right? You don't want to bring all this electronic stuff in a cabin, and it's not a hotel, right? Nothing's gonna be locked up. Just leave that stuff at home. Unless you're coming to work over the weekend, which even then, bring something to kind of like double up on it. But we recommend that you just keep that stuff at home and bring the basic stuff. Don't bring any weapons. You won't need a knife. You won't need any. You're not gonna go hunting at this camp. Please leave all the weapons at home. We don't need anybody getting hurt. We don't need, a lawsuit on our hands from the camp. Please just leave that stuff at home. All right, it's gonna be a very simple 48 hours. Just gonna hang out. All right. If you have any questions about what you can or cannot bring, my email is provided below. You can shoot me an email of anything that you want. So here's some pre-camp stuff. Okay. So camp's going to begin on Friday the 28th at 11 a.m. The boys' youth camp ends that day earlier in the morning. So if you come earlier than 11 a.m., you might cross into the youth camp. We don't recommend you come that much earlier. I would say 10 a.m. the earliest. So that way you're not caught in the crossfire of the boys' youth because then you might put your stuff down, they'll think it's their stuff, and then your stuff all of a sudden now is back in Patterson. Just avoid that. Just coming around 10:30, 11 a.m. is when we're all opening up the doors, meaning that we'll show you to which cabins are available. Okay. By the way, you are driving to the camp. We obviously wanted to make this cost effective for everybody. So we didn't get a bus this year. So we did a carpooling. So try to, reach out to people who are part of the camp. If you do not know anybody from the camp and you want me to connect you guys with you people, I can find some names, right? If multiple people reach out to me saying that they want to carpool, I can connect you guys. You guys can obviously figure it out from there. But definitely recommending carpool so that you're not taking a billion cars down there all at once. The address of the camp, I don't know if I'm blocking it. All right. Here's the address for the camp. We're going to provide it as well through email so that way so nobody gets confused about what's going on. When you arrive to the camp, right, at 11 a.m., the first thing you're going to do is settle to a cabin. We're going to point out to you which cabins that you can stay at, only because there's going to be about 15 cabins laid out. We don't want the participants spread out, right? You might think, oh, I'm going to sneak and get my own cabin. Please just respect our rules, right? We don't want to have to argue with anybody about please, like, we have to kick people out of cabins. Just stay within these five cabins. The point is, or three, whatever the cases may be. The point is to get everybody united, right? We don't want 15 cabins of four people. We want 3 to 5 cabins of 10 to 15 people. That's the point of it. So that way, things can feel alive, things can feel go and keep on going. If there is an issue, if there is a conflict, where we can't have certain people in certain cabins together or there's situations, then we can figure it out. However, in the meantime, we do want to stick to those cabins that we allocate to you. If you have a certain group of friends or certain group of people that you would like to room with, then I highly recommend you guys all get there on time. Okay, that you guys all come and you select cabins together. You are adults, all right? Please, we don't want a situation where people are arguing over beds, people are arguing over cabins. We're trusting that you guys are able to handle this on your own and figure out where you want to go. Again, if there is any issues, please let us know. However, there's not much we can do if somebody wants to be in the cabin that you and all your friends are at. You're gonna have to be open to that brotherhood. That stuff happens, right? We hate to get to know people. This is not a click camp where you get to just stay with people you want and that's it. Cabins have about 15 beds. So if you're of a group of 7, expect 8 strangers, right? It's not going to be all people that you know. And no, 7 people cannot stick to their own cabins at once. We will do our best to accommodate. However, please understand that, you will most likely be rooming with people that you are unfamiliar with. Um, so you're gonna drop off your luggage, and then you'll have some time to get to know the camp, right? We're gonna pray Salat Jummah at 12 o'clock. So obviously you can get your stuff settled in, you can make your bread, you can make wudu. And if you have some time, you can walk around the camp itself, check out what's going on, check out all the things happening around you, so that way you're familiar when activities happen. And then you can head down to Salah. We'll show you where the Salah area is at 12 o'clock, and that's gonna be the start of camp. All right. So Jummah is the first Salah, is the first thing that we're doing in camp. I recommend that you like obviously pray at the camp and not pray at home. We're bringing the Mashayikh at camp. Dr. Imad Hamda will be there at camp with us as well. He's going to be doing the Jummah khutbah, inshallah. It'll just save you time. If you pray Jummah, ICPC, and then head down to the camp, you're going to get there a little late. You're going to hit traffic on the way. We recommend you get there to pray Jummah, so that way you're not missing Jummah A, and B, obviously you get to see the full thing of the camp. After Salat Jum'ah, we'll stay where we are. We're just going to give the camp breakdown once again, just reminders of quick, rules, blah, blah, introduce you guys to certain things. We're going to have a WhatsApp group chat. It's going to be one giant group chat where, you're able to talk to people. We're going to be able to post things that's going on in the camp. It's going to be very loose, right? This camp, the whole intention of it is to be very easy, very chill, but we'll get into that. And so we can ask any questions, whatever the case is, maybe throughout the group chat, inshallah. Whatever. So what's the camp gonna look like? It's gonna be very laid back. Like I said, this isn't obviously, back then in youth camp, you had a counselor, you had, activity list that you had to go to. It's not gonna be any of that stuff, right? This year's camp is going to be very flexible, very loose. What's going to happen is we're going to provide an activity schedule right in the group chat. Star it, save it, screenshot it, whatever you got to do to keep it on hand so that way you can always refer back to it. There's going to be two activities going on simultaneously, right? This is to provide, some diversity, right? If you want to do this or if you want to do that. Obviously, a lot of it is very sport active, like just active things. So that way, to get ourselves moving, we're always at home, we're always behind computers. We're trying to stay away from all that stuff. So we have a lot of sports activities that we're doing together, right? Expect people not to be good at some of these events. That's okay. We're just doing it for fun. The first day, especially, is very loose. I have the activity schedule actually right in front of me. I'm not providing it yet solely because there are things that we're trying to fix, and we'll get to that part in a moment. And so once it's finalized, once we got everything down pat, we'll send it to you guys so that way you have an idea of what's going to happen throughout the camp, inshallah. So first day is going to be very free, right? We're going to have like just free basketball, free volleyball, free little stuff where it's just very light. We're just playing for fun. And the second day is where we do more competitive things. The second day is where we're going to have actual tournaments for a lot of these activities. As well as unique type of games. So we have a lot of special unique activities that aren't sports, but they do require some some form of, physical activity. We have some activities for, critical thinking. We have a bunch of things to target all people. We try our best, to make it fun for everybody. Obviously, it's going to be things that you like and things that you don't like. The beauty about an adult camp is you are an adult. If there's something that you don't want to do, you don't have to do it. Meaning that if we are all playing basketball and you don't like basketball, you don't have to go play basketball. You can just put in the WhatsApp group chat, hey, I'm not a fan of basketball. If anybody I don't really want to play basketball. If anybody wants to go play Gaga, right, or play volleyball, let me know. And you guys can go play volleyball, right? The camp is at your disposal. You can do whatever you like in that camp. If you guys want to just hang out, right, by the lake and just talk, by all means, go hang out by the lake and talk. You guys want to, whatever the cases may be, you have that freedom. The only thing you cannot do is you cannot go to any activities that require staff. And we'll talk about that towards the end. We're willing to adjust things around. So let's say, for example, we're at the camp and let's say we're playing Ultimate Frisbee, right? I personally love Ultimate Frisbee. But let's say nobody at the camp wants to play Ultimate Frisbee and everybody's just saying, hey, why don't we just all play football instead? We can adjust. We can say, hey guys, Ultimate Frisbee's canceled. We're all moving to football, right? It's a group thing. We're all one group chat, just trying to figure out how to have the best time, right? Let's make it that way, right? Let's make it seamless. Let's not argue, of course, right? Do whatever you want. Gather the troops of wherever you want to head out and just go have fun, right? We made this schedule so that way to give an idea of what things people can do and to try new things. But at the end of the day, this is what we want to, this is obviously for you. However you want to do it, you can run it. So, for in regards to Salah, we will be ijma'ing and exiting, so we were praying Dhuhr and Asr together and Maghrib and Isha together. The major talks will be after those salahs. So we have the afternoon talk after Salat Dhuhr and Asr, and then the late night talk after the night talk after Maghrib and Isha. This is the campfire talk. This is what we all remember, what we all love. If you've never been to a campfire talk, highly recommend it. It's always a very powerful, moving lecture that we have. We'll have obviously only two. We'll have Friday night and Saturday night, so you definitely don't want to miss those, inshallah. We'll also have smaller discussions throughout the day, right? Some of the stuff will be just, simultaneous, right, on the spot. Um, Spontaneous, not simultaneous. Where Fikri just wants to give a talk somewhere, Dr. Munir, Dr. Ahmad, or just like in a gathered somewhere and just giving a talk, we just tell people, hey, this person's giving a talk, feel free to attend, right? So that way it's kind of loose, right? Again, we want to make this very seamless for people. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner will be served. It's all you can eat. I have to say, personally, we went to this camp for about 4 years now. For camp standards, pretty good, right? I personally like this camp's food a lot. It's one of the main reasons why we stayed at this camp. Um, so don't worry, it'll be good. If you want to bring your own snacks, bring it at your own discretion. We'll talk about that as well at the end. But obviously you're at a camp, so if you bring food into the cabin, don't be surprised if you run into mice, skunks, raccoons, even bears, right? Alhamdulillah, we've never had this situation, but it's not impossible. In the camp, we're also going to assign cabin guides, right? So in each cabin, you'll have a cabin guide. This is not your leader. This is not someone who's in charge of you. This is not someone who's doing anything of responsibility over you. You are an adult. You get to decide whatever you want. This cabin guide is just here to help you. Hey, guys, we have this activity going on. If you guys want to check it out. Hey, guys, we have a talk at this time going on, blah, blah. If you have a question, you can ask your cabin guide. If he can't answer for you, he'll find the answer for you, right? These are just people who are just involved in the process of camp, and can answer your questions, help you, guide you, and just, get things going for people because obviously we all know it's difficult to get things moving along, get things out of the group chat. Their job is to just get things moving along as well and to push all cabins to have a good time. Rules of the camp. I this is gonna be our first one. I'm very optimistic. However, it is on you. Please be respectful. We're adults, right? We know what it feels like to have someone who's obnoxious, someone who doesn't shower, someone who just talks a lot when people are trying to sleep, right? Like, be respectful to others. Don't be a problematic person. If you're going to camp with the intention of being problematic, right? Some people have these fantasies of all the things that they couldn't do in camp when they were youth, and now they want to do them as adults and just ruin it for everybody else. Please don't come, right? We just want to have a good time. Everybody's, taking time out away from their families, away from work, away from all this stuff to have a relaxing, fun weekend. Don't ruin it for people, please. Talk to the people around you, right? If you're in a cabin where people want to stay up late, right? I suggest maybe moving to a different cabin, right? So that way you can sleep early. Or maybe just having that conversation like, hey guys, like I kind of sleep early. Like, yes, we can provide places for you guys to be to hang out, right? We can find places where, if you guys want to just have a conversation, whatever, it doesn't have to be in the cabin or keeping everybody up. We can find places for you. But the point is, please be respectful. I don't think I need to dive into any more. Please be respectful to the staff as well. We have youth that treat them well. It would be humiliating if the adults come and they're the ones disrespecting the staff. Please be respectful. Please don't steal other people's properties. I can't emphasize enough how haram and horrible that is, right? People work hard to pay for these things, and you're just going to come and just rob someone else's stuff. With that in mind, right, you also have to do your own due diligence and protect yourself. Don't bring expensive things. Don't bring expensive cologne. Don't bring expensive jewelry. Don't bring expensive watches. Don't bring something that you're like worried about losing. Bring an air tag, right? If there's something that you really need to protect, right? Tape it to an air tag. Make sure, like, hide it in an air tag somewhere and make sure nobody steals it. Don't bring nice shoes. Don't bring any of this stuff, right? But please do not steal, right? This is the things that make, like, this is our first ever adults camp. This is the kind of thing that makes camp just all ruin and nobody comes back and we never get to do this again because one person wanted to steal something. Please do not ruin it for others. Please respect the Mashayikh while they talk. Again, you are adults. We're not going to go up to everybody and start shushing them like you did when we were campers, right? You're adults. Please be respectful to the Mashayikh when they're talking. Obviously, they're taking time out of their lives and their families to come join us and have a good time with us. Give them that same respect. If you damage any property, you will be responsible for covering the damage of those. So don't think you can go and just do whatever you want, break whatever you want, and then it's all on ICPC. No, you will be held responsible for it. So please don't break anything. Try your best not to leave the campsite. Obviously, we're not chaining anybody to the camp, but the camp does find like it does complicate the camp process from the staff's end. When people are just cars are just coming in and out when they have their own staff members going in and out and their supplies coming in and out. So I know some people have already talked to me about they have certain obligations, which we're okay with. We're not watching over you to see who's here, who's not, blah blah. But what's the point of going to camp if you're just going to keep leaving, right? You don't need that trip to Dunkin' every morning. You don't need, to go get, a different type of food if you don't like it, right? Just like try your best to stay on the campsite, right? It ruins the experience if you just keep driving off campus. Again, do not go to the rock climbing pool or lake when no staff are present. This is against the camp rules, so they can terminate our contract if we break it. Don't be that person that ruins it for everybody because you wanted to go swimming, especially on the last night. Don't think, oh, it's Saturday night. It doesn't matter. I'm leaving anyway. Well, congratulations. Now you just got us kicked out of this camp, which I have a great relationship for years. Please don't be that person. Do not ruin it for ICPC. If you're unhappy with something, right, don't ruin it for others, right? If they're playing a game, like a game show game or whatever the case with everyone, and you don't like the game or you think something's stupid, don't be a heckler, right? Don't be like this person who's just rude and disrespectful to our staff and disrespectful to everybody else around you. Just leave. You're a grown man. If something is not to your liking, get in your car, go home. Nothing else I can tell you, right? Or just leave the activity. Don't ruin it for other people. Um, there will be games where we have to make teams, because obviously if there's activities where we need things to be even, right? Let's say, for example, we're playing Ultimate Frisbee. Ultimate Frisbee, we usually just get like 20 on 20, 15 on 15, whatever the cases may be. And, a group of 10 gather and a group of 12 gather, and we have a bunch of people just waiting to play. We will put them in the teams, right? Deal with it. It's part of being a grown man, right? If you probably have kids or you're going to have kids. If you expect your kids to make friends and just deal with it, you should be doing the same exact thing, right? Obviously, we're not doing this for everything. Like, for example, for our tournaments, we expect you to make your own teams, so that way everything is fair. However, there will be activities that we put you guys in teams, and you're just gonna have to suck up and deal with it. And again, if you have any issues, please come talk to us. We will kick people out if we have to. So if you're being problematic on the first day, if you're problematic in general, if you're being somebody who's not cooperating with us, we will just tell you to leave, right? Make it simple, make it seamless. We will just tell you to leave. I expect everybody to obviously respect my authority. I'm not planning on going in as a dictator. However, there are certain things that I have to make sure that everybody listens to, everybody follows. If you are going to be complicated, or if you have the intention of not listening to what I say, right, and just breaking the rules of doing whatever you want, I will also respectfully ask you to leave. There are no refunds if you do if you break any of these rules. If you decide that I just want to do my own thing, and if you're unhappy with things, there are no refunds for these things. Okay, work with me, we'll work with you. I promise. We'll make this very easy. All right. Camp advice. Camp is going to be what you make of it. If you go into positive attitude, it's going to be great. Be open with uncomfortability. It's camp. There's going to be bugs. There's going to be mud. There's going to be dirt. Get used to it, right? It's not that big of a deal. Be a man. That's all I can say. If the kids can do it, you can do it. Be open-minded, right? Play the games that you've never done before. Try the activities you've never seen before. If something's confusing, you never like, if it seems corny to you, just do it. I promise you'll have a better time than you think, right? You got nothing else to do. Might as well just have a good time with us, right? That's the whole point of this. We try to make things fun, but obviously at the end of the day, it's all relies on your participation. If you have a group of 20 people and nobody wants to play the activity is pretty much going to be dead, right? So it's up to you guys to make it fun for yourselves. If not, then it's obviously just going to be slow and boring. Try to use your phone as little as possible. Obviously, there's no rules on your phone, but the point is the disconnect and recharge. You didn't pay here just to go on your phone with all these people around you, right? Go and have a good time. Attend the talks with your full attention, right? None of us are scholars. None of us are perfect at anything or think that there's nothing else you have to learn. Go in with an open mind. Rely. You never know how this camp can change your life. The youth camp changed people's lives. A lot of what the adults camp might do. This is the first ever one, so let's find out. Bring snacks and risk, like I said, because of the animal situation. Try to get there at 11, so that way you don't have any cabinet issues, in regards to selection. So that way, it just makes things easier for everybody. And remember, this is about brotherhood first, right? This is about us uniting as an ummah. We are the ambassadors of Islam. They've never had Muslim adults at this camp. We will be there first, okay? You must, by adults, I mean the adults camp, not counselor wise. We will be the first, right? Let's set a good example of what Muslim, like if the kids act good, let's show them how even better the adults act. So, conclusion, camp's going to end on Sunday at 1 p.m. Lunch will be provided, so you eat lunch and then obviously you can head on home. You can leave earlier if you'd like, but I mean, you paid for it. Might as well eat the lunch, right? Again, it's pretty damn good. We are always looking to improve. So please let us know your feedback during the camp, before the camp, after the camp. Just give me your feedback. Tell me what you want to see in the schedule. Tell me what you want to see, like what games you want to play, what things we should bring. Tell me everything. This is the first ever one, right? Years, inshallah, years will come, right? Just like in the 2000, the camp started in 2008. We are in 2026 for the boys youth camp, right? The first ever group in 2008 set the standard, and we only grew from there. This will be the exact same thing. We are the first, right? How this plays out is all up to us. We can make this fun, we can gather together and have a good time and communicate with one another, or we can just, ignore everything, not do anything, be disrespectful, and this whole camp can be ruined and this can be one and done, right? I'm optimistic. I think the group of people we have is amazing. I think our community is amazing. I think the adults we have are amazing. Inshallah, let's have a good time together. Please send me all your recommendations. If you have any questions or anything you need, please feel free to reach out to me. My email is listed below. Um, I will be there throughout the entirety of camp. So anything that you need, please reach out to me. Please come find me. I'm obviously going to be participating with you guys and things. So if I'm a little busy at times, that's okay. Just pull me out. Just come talk to me. I'll do my best to obviously accommodate for anything you guys need. Once again, my name is Ahmed Sahwel. Jazakallah khair. Thank you so much for listening. I apologize for boring your ear off. I hope that you made it all the way through in 9 times 2 speed. But if you did, you need to check out your brain because you're very stimulated. But if not, good job. All right, assalamu alaikum, guys. Okay, all right, stop the share, not the